This is the dedicated page for my training course on Technology IT Procurement Foundations, which is the part of CIPS skills portfolio that I'm delivering since 2021. But in the last couple of years, this course has substantially evolved, and I added some interactive learning aids to this course, which I wanted to show you. Let's just browse this page. It's underneath the training course tab, Technology IT Procurement Foundations. And here we have the description of the course, and we even can get to enrolling page on CIPS. There it is, Technology IT Procurement Foundations. You can enroll over here for the September session. Then again, some descriptions. But this is arguably the most interesting part. First is the dedicated course GPT. So let's write list. Okay, so that's the list of all topics that are included in the course. It's not the exhaustive list, but most of the topics from the course, they're over here. And let's say you want to know more about number 12. Here you have links to my blog, to some external knowledge, and the summary of and provision of most important elements of this knowledge. So this knowledge will stay with you after the course, as long as you would want to use this GPT. We also have 7 practical cases in this course, and each of these cases can also be worked out with this GPT. For instance, case 6. So this is the case. In your course handouts, you have more information about this case, but here you can see the summary and then questions. What can be the lessons learned? Work on savings. What governance failures contributed to the outcome? Lack of controls. How could the project be structured differently? Outsourced. You can see that it helps you to, it even gives you some scores, helps you to build strong answers, and provides challenge questions. For instance, that's the question that I found interesting. And just brief update on this question. That's the course GPT. Now have the sourcing strategy generator. That's the part of the strategic sourcing module in the course. You can see here, this visual is the logic and AI agent that gets this information together in order to produce the sourcing strategy generator. Let's assume we want to work with this generator, and here a little bit more information about this tool. We can follow this link to get to the tool. Let's follow the link, and we have this sourcing strategy tool. Okay, I email address, next, source, name, right, e-procurement system, procurement system, the integration, and data migration. Subcategory, that's the cloud and application platform. Commercial importance of the sourcing requirement is medium. My class, you can see what the by class is by following this link. This by class is modified rebuy. Base layer, again, you can follow the link to see what this base layer means, but that's the system of record, source and process type, going to the RFP. And that's going to be a limited RFP with the best-in-class providers. From Kralish Matrix, it is probably bottleneck item, market competition level. We have strong competition in the market. How suppliers are looking at us, which is exactly the supply preference in option as development. Category manager intent, and here we can select multiple answers. We're not talking about cost yet, that's the new solution. We want to standardize, we want to explore market option, we want to support new business requirements. Key supply risks. The price is reasonably volatile, and the risk can be that we will lock ourselves in with the vendor or the original equipment manufacturer. The need by date by which we have to finish all the sourcing activities and sign the contract. 1st of January 27. Specification maturity, it's partially defined because that's still, especially the I part of it, is still work in progress. Alignment with stakeholders, we are mostly aligned. And stakeholder intent is to support new business requirement, explore market option, and improve innovation. Supplier performance, we don't have, let's say we don't have the incumbent supplier. Business constraints, SAP, S4, HANA, integration, that's the key. Here it is. It's our sourcing strategy. You can see first we specified all the requirements that have been entered in the form. Now the category strategy. We have the preloaded category strategies that we have developed for training purposes and loaded it into the tool. That's the category strategy, and our suggested sourcing approach is aligned with the category strategy. Recommended sourcing strategy, again, you can read about what's suggested. Action plan, even with actors in the action plan. And finally, expert procurement perspective. This is my procurement persona, which is the collection of the rules, logical constructs, and approaches that I have been using through more than 2 years of communication with ChatGPT. Extracted the entire archive of my communications, and then ChatGPT compiled all the procurement knowledge that was there, even biases, so to say. He combined it and called the procurement persona. This is the print of my personal procurement personality, how it would have suggested for this case. So let's go to the next element of this course. And our next stop on this journey is the negotiation game simulator. Let's type play. We have 2 available games because it's just been recently created and I still have to load more games into it. Let's say it's SAP transformation number 1. You have your scenario brief, objective points, and so on. Now we have to select the supply profile for these negotiations and put a pin number 2. The profile is locked. And our available actions, because the supply actions already been explained to us in the brief, we can accept migration, negotiate, or defer. Let's accept migration. Will end up the game immediately, because that was the entire intention of SAP in this game, to negotiate or force us into this migration. We want to negotiate ourselves some concessions. Supplier selected. Commercial concession. Great. But we won't go full migration. We want to go partial transition. Selects relationship preservation. They will just favor our decisions. And we will have to commit to the current negotiation outcome, withdraw. Why should we withdraw? Because the preservation of relationship means that supply accommodated our position. We just commit to earlier selected partial migration. What happened here? Here we see the scores. Our score is 55 out of 100. Supplier score is 60 out of 100. So they have marginal advantage. This is the supply profile with the scoring points, analysis, quality assessment of our decisions. As you can see, to negotiate was a strong decision. Partial transition is a strong decision. Then committing was the moderate decision. Perhaps we should have selected something different. Opportunity cost analysis, even the negotiation history. That's our negotiation simulator. And the last for now is this Kralic matrix demo, because we will be having one of the sections of our training related to Kralic matrix. Here we can create Kralic matrix simulation for one selected category, the test category, with some imaginary data. Your name is gonna be IT sourcing, commercial significance. At least within the total organization, it's gonna be noticeable. Top supplier share. So out of 5 suppliers in the category, how much of the spent value in proportion does the leading supplier have? Let's say 32%. We don't enter the percentage mark, but that's 32, it's about percent. Manage a profit impact. As a category manager, I have to evaluate the profit impact. That comes from the Kralic matrix, this estimate. The profit impact is moderate. Supply risk is low because we have the abundance of suppliers. What end user says about the business impact, probably they would say very low. Category manager comments, ensure quality standards. End user comments, they probably want to have better pricing. Actually here, let's see. This is where our Kralic matrix is visualized with the position of the category, the marks, the calculation logic, and then the category commentary. What are the recommended actions for the category? Next recommended actions, you have this as well as your deliverable. Again, you can look into this section of my website where I'm publishing the next course dates. You could follow this link and book yourself into the next session. You can leave your inquiry. I'm always open for your questions and happy to answer. Thank you.